Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm an employee reputation specialist here at Mars, and you're watching Coffee and TWIX, a series where we sit down with our associates for a quick break and learn more about the incredible people that drive our business forward. Today, I'm joined by Ashley Gill, who is the VP of Brands and Content for Mars Snacking North America. Welcome, Ashley.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So, I want to start off by giving our audience some insight into who you are. As the VP of Brands and Content, could you share what your role is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. I will start by saying my role is very fun. I get to have a lot of fun with the iconic brands that sit within our Mars snacking portfolio. And from a US perspective, I'm responsible for leading all the brand and content that comes out on behalf of our 26 brands that we support as part of the North America business. From a global perspective, I manage Snickers and Skittles, so what we refer to as a global brand steward.
That's amazing. It sounds like such a fun job.
Fun. It's very creative, so it's a good
Yes,
time.
I love that with so many iconic brands.
Right,
So,
exactly.
what is it like to build a career in marketing with Mars? Can you walk us through what your life at Mars has looked like so far?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been at Mars now for just under 2 years, which it's gone by fast because I've been having a lot of fun. And I had kind of an interesting journey to my role at Mars today. I actually spent 12 years of my career at BBDO New York, which has been a longstanding partner of Mars. And 10 of the years I was there, I actually worked on the Mars business. I remember TWIX and Dove chocolate were my first brands. And when I got that job, I remember calling my mom and just being so excited, and she couldn't believe it either because these brands are ones that I grew up with and obviously everyone knows and loves. So a couple of years ago, as after I had kind of a long-standing relationship with Mars already, and at that point gotten able to touch pretty much every brand in the portfolio, this opportunity came up, and I applied for it, and I went through the paneling process. I was lucky enough to be chosen for the role. Since I've been here, I would say my experience before definitely helped. I mean, I knew the brands, I knew so many of the people. I joked that the people in my panel interview were a lot of the people that I worked with on a day-to-day basis, which was a unique experience. A lot of friendly faces, which is always good. Essentially, what I have done is leveraged a lot of that experience, the knowledge of the brands, knowing the company, knowing the ways of working, and really applied that. But at the same time, what I have found at Mars is that you learn something new every day. There's not a single day at this job that I'm bored in the best way possible, because I'm always trying to solve a new creative challenge, or maybe there's a business opportunity on one of the brands that we're really trying to unlock through a consumer experience. And so there's always something new to learn, a new challenge to face, and it really has been incredibly fulfilling so far.
That's amazing, and we're so happy to have you here on the Mars side. And I know that you and your team were recently recognized at the American Advertising Federation's 2025 Advertising Hall of Fame. How does it feel to have received that incredible recognition?
Yeah, I think you actually used the word that I would, which is it was incredible. I remember the night heading over and not quite knowing what to expect outside of just obviously we're going to have this night celebrating the iconic advertising of the entire portfolio of brands from a Mars Inc. standpoint. And I remember getting out of the car and walking into the event space. The M&M's characters were out in front, and I immediately just felt such a sense of pride. And walking into the event space, we got to see all of the kind of historical advertising that had contributed to the recognition, and then being able to have that moment of reflection and celebration with an incredible group of associates that had worked with in my previous role and are now partners of mine on the day-to-day. And then we also had some of our agency teams there, which was really fun because it was just a really incredible moment, not only for the brands and the work that has the creative work that has built them into what people know and love around the creative expression of them, but it was also a really incredible moment to celebrate the partnerships that had gotten us here. Very much a pinch me moment, with a lot of pride and recognition and celebration of the past, but also inspiration as we head into the future.
Yeah, you mentioned it too. These are brands that people grow up with. So it's so incredible that you and your team get to actually bring these brands to life. And I'm sure that there are people watching right now that are interested in being part of the marketing team and being part of this legacy. Do you have any advice for someone looking to grow a career in marketing at Mars?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I would suggest. I think the first thing is just the recognition of what a privilege it is to be a part of these brands' lives. We talk about this a lot as a team. M&M's was here before I was, and M&M's will be here long after I'm no longer in this role. And there's a part of that that feels like, you know, you really want to respect the brand and what has built it into what it is today, you know, steward it in all the right ways, look after it, protect it, but also set it up to be successful in the future. So I think number one, really having an appreciation for the many shoes that you're standing in that that have been there before you, and just feeling lucky and excited to be able to wake up and support these brands every day. The next thing I would say, we talk a lot about this, is kind of a cultural behavior at Mars, but just always staying curious. I think in marketing specifically, and we all feel this, I think, as humans, the world around us is changing so much. Our consumers, the choices that they have in terms of snacks is wider than ever. There are more options than ever. And there's all these different things that contribute to how people are feeling and where they're spending their time and what they're interested in. And it's really our responsibility to keep up with that change and meeting our consumers where they are, and being really just obsessed in how we can make sure that we're being true to kind of what their needs are and being relevant to them in those ways. So I think that's a big part of it, is always just learning and trying to find new opportunities, and feeling like you have the freedom to really, once you identify some of those opportunities, really just go for it and try new things and experiment. And there's often a lot of really exciting things to learn in that. And then the third thing I would say is we are incredibly lucky that Mars is such a relationship-based culture. I felt that from the minute I walked in the door at Mars, just the fact that people are so generous with their time. They're always wanting to make a connection. They're always willing to be a sounding board, listen to different points of view, or give you their experience, so you can just learn from that and kind of be a sponge and understand the journey that different people have been on. It's really nice because I think you can really do that at a variety of levels too. There's not this kind of like, oh, there's somebody more senior than me, I can't reach out. There's always such a generosity throughout the entire organization in terms of people's time. I'm grateful for that myself, and I think that that's something that I would just encourage more and more people to leverage. Make those connections, reach out, get the face time, and build your network within the company. I think that's really important. So you're just thought of next time maybe there's a potential new role or a new opportunity to try something new on behalf of one of our brands. Those would be kind of my the three pieces of advice.
Super helpful, and that relationship driven culture paired with our culture of continuous learning and growth is truly special at Mars, and one of my favorite things. So thank you for the helpful insight. I have one last question for you to wrap things up. Is there anything exciting that you're working on currently that you can share with consumers and those watching right now?
Yes. So we actually, in the next couple of months, we have two exciting new campaigns launching. The first is we have a long-standing partnership with the NFL on Snickers. This year we have Josh Allen as a partner, and so he's going to be participating in the creative work that we're going to be doing to support the sponsorship this year, and it should just be a lot of fun. I'll just leave it at that. It's the classic Snickers humor, also combined with Josh Allen's really amazing and playful personality, so we're really excited to see how that comes together. And we also have Halloween just around the corner, believe it or not. So we have some brands that are going to be supported in new and different ways this year. I love the intersection of our brands at this seasonal moment. There's always so much creativity that sits at the heart of that. And it's also great to be able to really support these brands at really the biggest moment for candy throughout the year. So we're really, really excited to see that come to life. And then early next year, we'll have a bit of a fresh take on the iconic You're Not You and You're Hungry campaign on Snickers globally. Stay tuned for early next year for that to come out. So really, really excited to see that come together as well.
That is super exciting. I can't wait to see all of this come to life. Thank you so much for all the helpful insight and for chatting with us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me. This was fun.
Of course. And if you're looking to grow a career in marketing or any of our functions here at Mars, visit our careers website at careers.mars.com, and be sure to follow us on social to stay up to date on all things life at Mars.